Mark Rogers TV talking some Virginia Tech football with offensive guard Aiden Brown, who just signed with the 2017 class out of Potomac, Maryland. Aiden, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate the time. So we talked a little bit about before we came on, and you've got a pretty interesting story here. You were kind of lightly regarded at a certain level in terms of talking big-time college football, and Virginia Tech's about as big as it gets and play there in the ACC, but you kept with it. And kind of take us through the recruiting process and some of the things that you were hearing based on your size and wanting to get into the ACC.
My first offer came from Marshall, and it was kind of like a surreal feeling because everyone's been telling me up to that point, once you get one, more will come. So I got one from Marshall. The coach, he just literally on Twitter, he was like, "Yeah, can you give me a call?" and offered me at the dinner table in front of my parents, and that was a really fun moment. And after that, I did like the Nike Spark camp and then the Best of the DMV camp, and the offers really started piling up. I got to like 16. And then into the summer, like me and my parents were going around to all these schools trying to narrow it down. And Coach Wiggins from Virginia Tech hit me up on Twitter and was saying like, yeah, are you still coming to camp? Because he had come through the school. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's give it a try. It's not that far away. It's ideal distance away from home, like because me and my dad, we had like a checklist. So I went down to camp. I moved really well. I was in shape because the trainer here at my school, he's amazing. His name's Alamame Calais, API. He coached at New Mexico before. He got me right because I was just coming off of a hell week, so I was in shape. So I was in better shape than most of the other linemen there, and I ran a good shuttle, 4.5, and I did well in the one-on-ones. And Coach Weiss really liked me, and they offered me at the end of that day.
Oh, that's a cool story. So you gave us some of an indication of why you were sought after. Very athletic for an offensive lineman. You're slotted at guard. That's probably what you'll play. You did have some limitations and some questions there about your size. So how did that all come together? Because obviously you've got the athletic side, but at the same time, there were some questions about your size, and you had to kind of grow into the position.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, my junior year on that film, the film that everyone saw and offered me off of, I was around 230 playing right tackle. I was around 230. And that off season, I got up to around 260 by the time coaches started coming around. And like, I don't know, coaches just come around just to give you a look. And a bunch of the bigger schools, they were like, oh, he's too small, he's too light, he's too short. But they didn't really see me out in like on the field in my element, like where I was able to play. So, I mean, that kind of just motivated me. I put on 20 more pounds. At the beginning of last season, I was around 280. I put on 20 more pounds. I just got more focused on football, like just motivated, like, and I was just angry that people were sleeping on me and stuff. So I really tried to take that out on the field and prove to everyone that I am capable of playing at that level. And when Virginia Tech gave me the opportunity, I took it. I was really excited. It felt like home. Like the school I go to now, it's only about 400 people in the upper school, so it's a small atmosphere. Everyone knows everyone. I mean, Virginia Tech's a much bigger school, but like the family atmosphere of the football program and like the comfortability because it's close. It's only 4.5 hours from home, so it's relatively close. And I know a few people up there already, and the coaches were just genuine. Like the Virginia Tech coaching staff, they were the realest to me. Like they told me straight up what it was going to be like. There's no starting spots. I'd have to earn it myself, come in with a chip on your shoulder. Like they weren't like, oh yeah, like some of the other schools, oh yeah, you'll start right away. We need you, da-da-da. They were straight up with me. So that's the part I like the most about it. And they were good with my parents. My parents approved. So
that's always very important.
Yeah.
So you bring up a number of interesting things there. Football, motivation in life is lot. I'm not going to say it's everything, but it's a lot. But especially in football, where you got to play with a controlled anger, depending on the position, but a controlled anger, and that's probably a good place to be, to have a bit of a chip on your shoulder about the recruiting process there. In talking to probably about 25 signees, Aiden, the thing that I keep hearing is guys looking for or finding the right fit, something that felt like a family, people that they could trust. I guess from the outside, we often think, oh, this place is a big football factory. They can get whoever they want. They just go out there, they show them the facility and all the resources they have, and they got a brand name head coach, and they can do whatever they want. But it has really hit me hard, just in regards to what you guys just across the board, everybody says about getting into a situation where you feel comfortable and feel like you can trust the people you're around.
Mm-hmm. Well, with that, I have to give a huge thanks to my aunt, because her boys play at Duke, and she went through this whole recruiting stuff before I did. So she really gave me a bunch of tips on like what to look for, like how the coaches should approach you, if you're comfortable with them, like just kind of like pointers, so I could easily sort out through like all the BS that they were giving me. But Virginia Tech, they were really just upfront, and like they were just real with me. And Coach Fuente sat me down in his office and it was like, look, we love what you have and we want it, basically. So, and compared to the other schools, like it was the biggest offer I had at the time. But at that point, I feel like the recruiting process got really stressful. I like to compare the recruiting process to like online dating, because there's like 10 coaches from 17 different schools that you have to keep up with every day. You have to remember what you talked about last time. You have to remember all this stuff, and it gets hectic because they want to call you every day. They want to do all this stuff. So I found Virginia Tech, and it was really comfortable to me. I mean, after Virginia Tech, a few other big schools like Big Ten schools and ACC schools got in contact with me, but I was set at that point. Like I was comfortable where I was, and I was happy where I was.
Joined by Aiden Brown, offensive lineman for Virginia Tech, class of 2017, entering, of course, his freshman campaign there in Blacksburg. So you talked about the obvious comfort that you have with that area of the country as well, and also has some ties to the ACC. So you alluded to that, but can you fully explain the number of connections you have in the conference?
Yeah, I will. So my cousin Joe Giles Harris he was on the All ACC freshman team. He led Duke in tackles. He's the linebacker number 44. That's my cousin. JT Giles Harris is a true freshman starting on their lacrosse team, number 2. He's a pretty good player. I've been to a few of the games. And my other cousin, JJ McCargo, who's on my dad's side, he plays center and guard, interior lineman for UNC. And he's looking to have a good year this year. He redshirted last year, but yeah, he's looking to have a good year.
Aiden, one more question for you before we let you go. We appreciate you spending part of your afternoon with us. Would be, as you prepare for this freshman campaign, what are you trying to do to get better as a football player and prepare yourself? And do you have any goals? Can you possibly have any goals about, it's a long process. It's a 3 to 4 year process of development and getting better and trying to make your way into the rotation and doing all those things. Do you have any expectations for what you can expect this fall?
Yeah, I've actually been working on my snapping. I'm just trying to break the 2 deep. I'm trying to get in reps with the 1 so I can become better and I can get on the field quicker, because a bunch of spots are opening up at the end of this season. But I mean, I wouldn't be upset if I redshirted, because I understand like all of the possibilities that could bring, because 5 years of education for free, like you can't trade that. But if I make the 2 deep, like I just want to come in with a chip on my shoulder and tell everyone, like, I'm not just expecting to just be tossed to the side and redshirted. Like, I want to be considered, like, as a good player. So I need to get a little heavier right now, because I'm around 270. I need to get a little heavier, but I also like all the strength and physicality stuff. But I feel like I have the mind to pick up offenses, and I just want to make my name there. Like, I don't want to just be pushed to the side and not play till senior year. Like, I want them to know that I'm there to play and I'm serious about it.
Aiden Brown, 2017 Virginia Tech commit, offensive lineman, joining us. Aiden, you're obviously not just a tremendous football talent, but a very thoughtful young man. So we appreciate you taking the time and explaining your journey to get to Blacksburg.
Thanks for having me.